Usenze sithi igoli asibeka phaa ku-18 minutes after 8 kwi-social crossover with me uLhoza oJam Base sigxotha ikati eziko ke ngokulima nokufuya. Namhlanje bendithembisile imphulaphula that sakuqwalasela i-hydroponics and aquaponics. I know sasiyithe nje i-foundation with uOlwethu, and now we have ubabalwa kaMpambane. Let's welcome ubabalwa Mpambani. Finally simfumene kunini simbhuqa babalwa. Good morning, masikhawuleze ndenze ngohlobo kwenzela uba ndizoqiniseka nawe uba uyandiva kakuhle na. Babalwa, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to the listeners as well.
Thank you sisi for joining us. Siyabulela kakhulu uba ube nathi ngale ntsasa namhlanje. Ayibona ke abantu baseCumakala ke batshisa idolophu yaphela where it goes down. We understand ke xa ungakwazi ukulinka, xa ungakwazi uconnect. Sinihloniphe kakhulu siliphondo. Anoyiki nina. Well, babalwa abaphulaphuli ke beKeith ngeSirayeli kudala belindile. Siyathemba ndifuna sigawule sirhuqa ngoku i-network yethu sizawuvuma lokhu. Cumakala. Namhlanje sizawuthetha nge-hydroponics and aquaponics. Ininzi ke le nto, ino-systems phakathi. Inayo nje specialist system and what not and what. Zintoni ezo zinto babala?
Thank you so much. I'm on the road now, as we say, we have a network problem. I could not connect, but I think now if I'm audible, then that is fine.
Yeah, you are.
Let me greet you all again, listeners, my colleagues, friends, and family, and everyone who's listening.
Thank you, sis.
I let me say first, I'm very honored to receive this invitation to be talking to you about this important topic, the aquaponics as well as the hydroponic systems. These are two separate systems which are closely related. You'll get it as I go along with when I unpack what is it all about. I'll start with the aquaponics and say, firstly, what you need to start this system. You need to have the source of clean water. You need to have the right location. You need to have time to attend to the system because you need to attend to it on a daily basis. And you need to have a knowledge of both plants and fish production. You need to have a commercial or home-based made unit, homemade unit. It's either it can be commercial or homemade depending on the scale, as well as the source of image. Yes, we cannot run away from the fact that one needs to have a capital investment whenever one has to undergo or start this system. Then if I unpack it, what is it all about? First, it's soilless production of vegetables, and it's production of, in simple terms, it's a production of fish and crops in an integrated system, meaning that you have two enterprises. One is fish and another one sisityalo sakho, be it your tomatoes, peppers, celery, spinach, and so on.
So meaning
what happened?
Ulima uyalima, uyafuya kodwa emanzini, not emhlabeni.
Exactly. Emanzini, not emhlabeni.
Kodwa funeka uyakhele, funeka la manzi abe nendlela ethile owakhela ngayo.
Your plant.
Babalwa?
Your fish. Sorry, are you able to hear me?
Ukhe wakhatha kancinci, mhlawumbi uzawufuneka umise completely.
Dimile.
Okay.
I was saying, you have your fish tanks where you are feeding your fishes, and then on the other side, ubane pots where you're gonna have your vegetables. In those pots, you can fill any type of growing medium that you feel like that will be able to support your plant. Then the water that is coming from the fish, that is the waste now, is the one that is used to grow, to irrigate your vegetable. That is to feed as well as to give it water. Because you are not going to put any other nutrients other than the ones that you are getting now from the fish waste. On the other hand,
Oh.
those plants as well, they release nutrients
Mm-hmm.
um to the water that in turn feeds the fishes. So
Okay.
there is that mutual relationship, if I may put it that way, where you have a waste on this side of the
Mm.
fish feeding your plants, and then the nutrients that are coming from your plant then
Zifida
feeding your,
ngapha.
yes. So it's one, it's,
Mm.
there's no wastage. It's totally recyclable. It's sustainable as well as it is environmentally friendly.
Okay. So kukho
However, mhm,
ukufidwa-fidwana, kukho
yes,
ukuginywa-ginywana.
yes,
Wena ndiyakufida, nam ndiyakufida. Okay.
exactly, exactly,
Okay. Okay. And ke
exactly.
ngoku uthetha
So,
ukuthi
mhm,
uneendidi-ndidi ezimbini ngaxesha linye, because ndifuna ubethelela le nto yoba umntu aqonde uba
yes,
hayi maan ndizawuqala ifishi. Uziqala zombini, zisenzeka zombini, meaning uzawuthi ngexesha lesivuno uyavuna ngaphi izityalo zakho, ilethasi yakho, your
awuyekanga
peppers
on the
and
other side to get your
ngapha
fish.
ifishi yakho itsho kuqala. So
Yes,
nepleyiti yakho iphelele mos.
exactly,
Ndikuvile.
exactly. That is
Okay.
the, and what you only buy is the fish feed, to supplement the
Mm.
water, the nutrients that are coming from the plant.
Mm, mm,
But
mm,
for the
mm.
plant, you don't buy any fertilizers. We know
Okay.
most that they are. When I said they are related, the aquaponics is completely environmentally friendly. It's
Mm,
organic. While when we move crossover to hydroponics, you'll hear that most of the times it is inorganic because you need to put in inorganic fertilizers.
mm, mm, mm,
Yes,
mm, mm,
yes.
mm. So kukhona ukuseyiva kwakho imali xa ukhomperisha kunokuba ubuzawutyala emhlabeni babalu?
Kakhulu, kakhulu. Because if you were into aquaculture in the first place, that is, if you were
Mm,
into rearing of fishes, growing them, then you might as well have an added benefit of also including the crops in your system, so that
okay.
you can have both the vegetables as well as the as the
Mm,
protein in the source of the
sure,
fish.
sure.
Yes.
Umntu uzawubuza ke ngoku into yobana nithetha ngamanzi apha.
Mhm.
Akho kuweyisteka kwamanzi, akho kuthini, because umntu uzawuthi hayi wethu nankuya umhlaba uhleli. But now yonke le nto yenzeka ngamanzi, nida amanzi. So umbuzo womntu oseQamdobowa uzawuqonda uba hayibo Lhoza, ewe ndiyalufuna olu didi lutsha lofamisha, but nithetha ngamanzi, ndizawacholayo phi mna la manzi? Ngamanzi mhlawumbi atheni, ndizawatritha njani because mna ndinomlambo walapha, okanye netepu yome ngoku. Ayina-waste yamanzi le nto, okanye nosedolophini for that matter i-thinking izawuba yinto yobana eyi siyawabhatala thina amanzi.
Okay. No, there is totally no wastage of water. But you do
Mhm.
need, I said in the beginning, you do need a source of clean water. Remember that?
Okay.
So you can harvest your water from your roof, so that
Mm,
you
mm.
can use the water that are in your tanks that you have
Emvuleni,
harvested.
okay.
That one is even more better because it has got no um uh and
Ezaa nto zigalelayo maan, ezaa
exactly,
chemicals,
it
yonke
is
laa nto.
actually very clean because you need to
Sure.
have a source of clean water. The other water that you can use, if you are in the rural, the dam water,
Mhm.
and the water from the river is also very clean. The water that one has to maybe check, is the water that is coming from the borehole, because that one might
Oh.
have the salts that are in the there. So
Mm.
that might need to be maybe first cleaned before one can use
Sure.
that. But the dam
Okay.
water, the rainfall water coming from your rivers, as well as the rainfall water coming from your tanks, when you
Mm.
harvest them in your home, you can actually use it. It's very clean.
Okay.
Yes.
Ndizama ujongana, ndizama uba ngumphulaphula ongazinto phaa ekhaya ozawuthi, and then le system ke ngoku izawuxabisa kangakanani, ndizawuyakha njani, ngoba kaloku awuzuthatha umakhi waphaa elalini uthi nantsi. Umntu uqala ngaphi ukufuna le system, amaphayiphi bazawukwazi uthumela ngapha aphume ngapha aphinde enze ngapha. And ifikelela kangakanani na? Ngoba kaloku akho mali. Ewe, ndiyakufuna olu hlobo and ke ngoku andikabikho sure nento yobana ndizayifumana i-return of investment kule nto ndiyenzayo.
Yes,
Mm,
that is a very important question, because I think many a times businesses zethu, they fail because we as binayo that technical know-how. When we
yeah.
want to start the business, you find out that
Mm,
you can take anyone to it. But in terms of the aquaponics, In our province, I haven't seen much of the structures. It's only those ones that are based at homes. I haven't seen a commercial farm. I'm not saying there are not any, but I haven't
Okay.
seen any commercial farmer from the Eastern Cape. But if you cross over to other provinces like the Western Cape, that is where there's many people. I can look out for the contacts and then maybe
Okay.
forward them to you, so that if there's a umpulapule Kayen who wants to do, and he can know where to look for this information.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but
Okay.
if there are any farmers now
Iyafikeleleka.
listening, if there are
Iyafikeleleka.
any farmers now, that's not a very easy question as well for me
To
to because
answer.
it also
Okay.
depends. It also
Sure.
depends on the scale, because if you're gonna
Okay.
do one at your backyard in your house,
Mm.
yes, you'll find out that you can use maybe you can even use the tanks, the Jojo tanks that you have to put in your
Okay.
fish, and then buy the bags on
Oh.
the side for putting in growing medium, where you are
Okay.
going to now plant your crops and irrigate them. So it depends on your scale. That is the home
Okay.
based one. Then if you want to go commercial, then it will also vary from one person to another in terms of the people constructions. But I must say, because there are things that you can use that are actually from within your reach as a farmer, it can't be that expensive. Yes, yes. Even though
Yeah,
at this point in time I won't be able to say this is the amount that you can
sure.
put aside for this kind of an operation. It depends on your scale.
Okay. Baba lwaMpambane, siyabulela kakhulu, but ndiyafuna sikhuthaze into entsha lena kuthi, ingakumbi kuthi bantu bamnyama. Siyazi thina izinto zenu ezikhumshayo zolima emanzini, sazi ukulima
Yes,
emhlabeni. Ingaba ke
yes.
ngoku nayo inesizini into yolima emhlabeni. Ngoku seqalisa uzawuvuna umbona because ubutyaliwe and October, September, October, November kuza phaa uyavuthwa noko ngoku. So uzawuthi umbona oshushu, kusawubheka kuwinter, ii-orange ziyaqala kancinci ziyabuya nenatshisi. Ingaba ke ngoku apha emanzini zikhona ii-seasons kuthiwe hayi lena ityale ngexesha elithile, lena ityale ngexesha okanye uyatyala nje
Okay.
ayina-seasons?
Cropping has got a season, even
Okay.
vegetables, even though there are those that are all year round, like your spinach. You can plant your spinach all year round. Your lettuce, you can have it all year round. But then if you go to tomatoes, it will depend. Tomatoes, peppers, the brinjal or eggplant, it depends where you are. If you are in areas where there is frost, the nice thing about the aquaponics then is that you do it under controlled environment. So it
Sure.
means even if there is a frost and we were now that you don't have the structure, you can't plant the tomatoes. I, on the other side, who's got the structure, who can control the climate inside my structure, will be able to plant. So that is
Okay.
the nice thing, is that you can plant all year round, even the crops that are originally not planted during that season, because of the climate. Yes, so
Oh,
you can manipulate the climate inside.
sure. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And that is where then
Ihorho.
you'll be okay. That is where you let me finish that one. You'll be able
Okay.
now to get more returns, because when you are planting on the land, by the time you are harvesting, everyone has got the tomatoes. But when I'm
Mm.
harvesting from my controlled environment, by the time I'm harvesting, no one else who's planting outside has the tomatoes during
Okay.
that particular season. So there's
Oh,
that
and
demand
also
and supply.
sure, sure. And also
Yes,
iyakhawuleza kunoba esi spinatshi sam eli khaphetshu lam lizawuthatha i-3 months, 4 months, lizawukhawuleza kweli cala emanzini. Okay.
most definitely.
Irhorho, spinatshi esinamachokoza okanye ilethasi etyiwa zirhorho ithini kweli cala ngapha? Kaloku sidla ngokugalela ezaa zinto for uba ingathi nalapha emanzini ziyahlala?
I think zikhona, but I'm not gonna dwell more. My colleagues will be coming after me. I think in
Okay.
next week and in the other week they will dwell more on the ways of controlling the ihoho ezo and some
Okay.
diseases. In
Okay.
every plant that you do, you do attract in any farming business
Sure.
ihoho. zikhona igrogro ezizawufuna uzotya whatever, but then
Okay.
you're gonna get someone who's gonna dwell much more on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Kodwa ndifuna xa ndiza kuyeka yonke le nto iyenzeka babalwa. Umntu angayiqalisa le nto athathe idram alisike. Laa nto idla ngokwenziwa xa umntu ezawuseza iinkomo zakhe okanye iigusha zakhe athathe alisike phakathi abeke enye icala abeke enye icala. Yonke loo nto qha ifuna nje bowuzixelele. And also intsha ke kuthi into yofamisha ngentlanzi. Intlanzi thina siyazi uba uyitheni ngeseyiqotsiwe. Then andazazi mna umzekelo neentlanzi ezityiwayo nezingatyiwayo. Yeyoliphi udidi. Umntu uqala phi ke ngoku? Okay, ndiyafuna ke ngoku ndenze i-farming ngentlanzi. Ndizazithatha phi? And ke ngoku ndineekati apha eyadini yam ezawufuna uya phaya. Ndiqala phi kahle.
Okay. Currently at our research station at Doni, which is here in Statarem, they do have a satellite that is also in Umtata Dam. Where there's a unit that specializes in rearing of fishes. I think I will share the details of the person that maybe one can talk to in terms of the fishes, in terms of which breeds, because I think even with the fishes, as you're saying, you can't just put any fish. There are fishes that might do well in our province and not do well in another province or in your area. Exactly. So you need to know what kind of a fish that you can farm with. So I will share the details of the lady who deals with aquaculture at our research institute.
Okay.
Yes.
So umntu ayazi nemarket ikhona nayo yonke into le nto, kodwa ke mhlawumbi ungacebisa umntu makayiqale kancinci angathi gqi ofuna uba neentlanzi eziyi-100. Azame nje kwenzela uba side siyiqhele le nto, masingayibaleki. Yinto esingayaziyo, yinto entsha, kodwa esifunayo uba nathi masibe kanti singenile kuyo. Andithi mphulaphuli. I'm sure
market research is very important. Whenever one has to embark on any business enterprise, you need to know who's your target market. Because as much as you'll say maybe this type of fish, it's at Yakiwa, but we need to know who's gonna be your buyer, who's gonna buy it. So I think that one is also very important, of which even there I wouldn't want to dwell much, because I'm not specialist when it comes to fishes. I'm a horticulturist by profession, so my main side is on the side of vegetables. Yes.
Okay.
But market research, as you said, it's important.
Ndicinga ibalulekile loo nto leyo. Before ube kanti uyayenza yonke le nto leyo uze uyazi, and ungaqali nje kule part, uyenze up to imarket yakho. Uzawuthengisa phi ezinto, uzawuthengisela bani na. Andiniva mani bantu be-hydroponics ne-aquaponics nithetha ngefruit. It's always vegetables. Into yoba mhlawumbi lo mthi we-orange uzawusindwa okanye elipayina, andiniva. Siselapha efrutini mhlawumbi eziba iminyaka ihamba. Mhlawumbi kwi-next generation sawuze efrutini okanye mhlawumbi
it's not economically viable, because for fruit trees you'll need a big land to get. You need huge hectares to get to break the even. So it won't be economical viable. However, in hydroponics you'll find the cut flowers. Yes, so the floriculture side of things you'll find it in your hydroponics, but fruit trees, no, you won't.
So masikhabe siqala apha kwi-lettuce, masiqala apha mhlawumbi kwi-herbs. Kancinci yonke laa nto, ezaa nto ezingathi zinaweight nento ezawukhawuleza zithengiseke. Then mhlawumbi apha ekuhambeni kweminyaka ningakwazi uphinda imanipulate ithi gqise ikwazi ukukhula umthi. Igqatyana lo mthi, but ke sizayibona because yonke izinto zihamba namaxesha. And ingakumbi thina abantu base-Eastern Cape, Western Cape, neTheku sikwi-coastal, but asiyazi uba masithini na. Xa kuthethwa ngezinto ezinamanzi ngokulwandle lolapha, we don't know anything about ocean economy. Asazi nix, siyazibona nje uba okay, asazi kwa ezo ntlanzi kodwa sihlala apha. So ezinto ezinjena siyabulela uba nimane nisifundisa, simane nisikrobisa njalo njalo sizobona uba masiyenze njani. Ndiyayithanda laa nto ye-controlled environment, ukwazi uba itemperature yakho imanejwa nguwe. Uba ngaba kushushu kakhulu, uba umntu oseHawksburg uzawuthi yhu kubanda kakhulu, okanye xa kushushu kakhulu, okanye apha eKomani. So uzawukwazi uba mawuyikhontrole ngokwakho itemperature yakho uyenze. Kodwa yonke loo nto leyo inida i-market research, inida some trainings. Abantu bayaphi for ufunda le nto, because mhlawumbi ngokuthetha apha kum kunomathotholo, it's not enough. Akade ibambe ncam. Ifundwa phi le nto?
Okay. When I received this call to come here, I was worried that I'm gonna fuse in a 6 months course into a 10, 20 or 30 minutes talk.
Yeah.
There is formal education. There is
Sure.
formal education that one gets at the universities. In my case, I did my undergraduate at the University of Fort Hare, that is here in Alice. So there is a unit of horticulture there. Even if you go to Fort Cox College, there is a horticulture unit. Now I'm talking Eastern Cape, but even if you go outside the province, you will find, especially the side of aquaponics, because the aquaponics in the Eastern Cape is it not much developed even at universities. But you'll find it at the University of Stellenbosch, for instance. It is advanced in those other side of our country. But if you look into hydroponics, which I have not yet touched, I don't know if you're gonna give me some time to touch there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You will get it more in our province, because I think you've seen around many tunnels, the greenhouse structures, some which are now not in a very good state, which I can also touch on some of the issues, because we've done a lot of technical research, technical assistance to our farming community whenever they had problems, because that's one of our mandates as the department. But additionally, if allow me to talk now on the hydroponics. Additionally, what you need, from what I said earlier, you need to have specially formulated fertilizers, the ones that are soluble, not the ones that we normally use when we are planting on land, because those ones are not specially formulated for hydroponics. Remember, we are not going to plant on your soil. You are going to put in these fertilizers in water. So we use the system that is called fertigation to fertilize now your plants so that they can grow. So you'll need a weighing scale, you'll need a EC or pH meter, where you'll constantly check the amount of salts that are in your water. And you are constantly going to adjust as your plant grows, because at different stages your plant is like a baby. Your baby. Umntwana xa emncinci udinga this amount of ukutya, as ekhula uyadinga more, as ekhula abe ngumuntu omdala adinge more. Your plant is also behaving that way, so you will need the EC meter and pH meter to check all that, additionally to what I said you need earlier. And also there is a huge capital investment on this one. Also, it also depends now on the type of structure you are going to do. In hydroponics, there are two ways. There is one that we normally have in our province. They say it's a waste, it's an open bag. It's a drain to waste system, meaning meaning how irrigate your plants, because you as I said earlier, you put in your fertilizer in your water, they dissolve, and then you feed your plants. Then what happens is that there's a drainage. Your bags where you've planted must have a drainage, because remember, even if you are planting in soil, you need to look at the drainage capability of that soil. So even on this one, there's a drainage, so that water then goes to waste. At our research institute, what we did in our tunnels is that we collect that water, that drainage water, and then use it to irrigate pastures that are around. And if there's any researcher wants to look into waste as well, that person is also allowed to collect that water, because it can also be environmentally harmful if you just let that water drain. And there's another system where you recirculate your water. That
Mhm.
means after they drained from your plants, you collect them into a tank, and then you try and clean them and check if there is anything, if you need to add more water to, because what you for the concentration to minimize the concentration of
Ewe.
nutrients,
Mm.
then you can again refertilize. So the system is like it's circulating.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
circulating, so
Mm.
there is no
Mm.
wastage. So there are those two systems, but the one that we normally use in our in our province is the drain to waste system.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. Drain to
yes,
waste system.
yes,
Sawaqhela la magama
yes,
ndiyafuna uthi asenzanga justice kakuhle kakuhle kwecala le hydroponics but
yes.
ndijonge ixesha kodwa ndiyafuna
Okay.
uba la magama ezi terms abaphulaphuli
Yes,
simane sizijonga singayingxameli but sithethele kakhulu nge-aquaponics and maybe mhlawumbi kwelandelayo even before your
okay.
colleague comes sikhe singene more on hydroponics and maybe have pictures as well so that lo
Yes,
mfanekiso ngqondweni sibanika wona bakwazi
okay.
ubona sibafundisise kakuhle bayibambe singacingi uba kuba mna mhlawumbi ndiyilandela sicinga uba bayibambile kodwa sikhuthaze into yobana ngoku masizame ucinga ngokuphangaleleyo sijonge ezi ndidi zintsha ngoba ekupheleni kosuku negama lale feature wena babalwa ngusigxotha ikati eziko ngokulima nofuya. Ngoku ke
All right.
masize nendidi ngoba enanto ingakumbi ijongene nephondo lethu yindlala, yintswelangqesho. So umntu xa nokwazi baqomba uba, you know, mna ndifuna uba mdaka ngumhlaba kodwa ndingayinyamezela yamanzi. Uyabona ne?
Yes,
So
yes,
masizameni
yes.
loo nto leyo. But ndifuna nje ukunike okokugqibela, ndizokuyeka, yeyiphi eyona nto ubawela ibe kanti namhlanje umntu kwinto yonke oyithethileyo angabe kanti unophuma nayo namhlanje xa sithetha ngomcimbi odibene nezi systems.
Okay. There is this. So you touch it now. This saying
Mm.
that when sometimes wants to go to farming, we
Mhm.
go in with different reasons.
Mhm.
But what I would like to stress out is that as much as you don't want to get dirty with the soil,
Mm.
planting in soil, and this one is more fancier, our youth can, but it is also very labor intensive, so it needs a
Sure.
passion. You need to have a
Ngokukhutheleyo.
passion of, yes,
Mm.
when a passion and yenzayo, and always try to
Okay.
capacitate yourself, get mentorship from someone who's been in the industry
Mm.
and who's
Mm.
done it successfully, because we cannot say everybody must go to the university. As you asked me earlier, that where can you
Mm.
get training? There's
Mm.
informal training that one can get, even
Sure.
from farmers who are successful. Look into your area, find out who's successful in doing whatever farming business that you want
Mm.
to
Mm.
start,
Mm. Mm.
and then get that somebody to mentor you. Get training, practical. There is that saying that there's no best teacher like practical
Ewe.
experience.
Yes,
I think
yes.
I think that one is very important. Uba
Mm.
uzame
Mm.
kangangoko ufumana the practical experience that you can get from everyone, from people that are already successful in your area.
Sure.
Get more
Sure.
information, because most businesses they fail because we don't know how to, when you meet with this challenge. Obviously, ukufamisha on the paper is totally different from farming
Xa usiya
on the
phaa
ground.
endimeni,
Exactly. So we
endimeni,
cannot
endimeni.
say ndigqibile one xa ndifunde eyunivesithi ndithi hayi I'm
Mm.
done. Yes, ndingayoyenza le
Mm.
farming, and then ndingabi nayo the practical experience. So I think that one
Sure.
is very much important.
So
Yes.
masibhude sisiya njengazibhizinesi zonke uye ngamanqina akho omane uba ndiyayifuna le nto and ube willing ukusebenza, ube willing ukuba mawuzame ukuqonda uba abanye abantu benza phi na and get a mentor uzomentorishwa. Ndiyayithanda kakhulu ngoba iyacaca uba into edibene nokugxotha ikati eziko ayifuni mavila.
No.
Funeka
No.
funeka ungathi
And
ukhuthele.
ayiyo laa ndawo yokuthi ndifuna ndiyotyela i-retirement yam kuyo.
Mm-mm.
That is another
Mm-mm.
mistake that we do as abantu abamnyama.
Mm.
Sifuna uyoritayarishela kuyo i-agriculture. It's
Yeah.
not a child's play. You need to, there are many mistakes that one does, and they are helping that
Mm.
person to build. when you are already at 65, maybe your lifespan will be at 70. By the time you reach 70, kungona usafundayo, usene-mistakes, so you lose out on your capital
Shame, man.
investment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Baba lwakaMpambane, siyabulela kakhulu man ngexesha lakho. Ndiyafuna ke siphinde sijonge into yobana phambi koyo-colleague here sizokwazi udadela nzulwini kwecala le-hydro. Kwenze into yobana
I would
qiniseke
like that as
abaphulaphuli bayibambile, and maybe a quick recap on the aquaponics as well, with some picture, then sigqithe ngo-440 speed sempuku siyongena ku-hydro, so that at least siyazi bi-foundation siyenzile, abantu banayo i-idea le nto, umntu athi esenzela i-research yakhe abe noko inkwethu siyisusile ne.
Yes, I would
Sure.
like that, as well as to touch on the experiences that we've seen around the province, so that one that I can learn from that experience that I'll be talking on.
Yes, i-challenges
Yes.
nayo yonke
Exactly.
into yoba
Yes.
silapha kweli phondo. Sade siyeke mani uba liphondo elona lakhe laphuwa, uba ngaba sawumane okuncinci nje yeyona nto ebanga uba sibe nale fishi, okuncinci esinokwenza ukugubhulula nokukhuthaza umntu ohlele ekhayeni aphakame ayolima, nobulime ngoluphina uhlobo okwethu kukuza neendidi-ndidi anokwazi uba athi venture into zona. Siyabulela kakhulu mani ngexesha lakho, ndikumisile endleleni.
Thank you so
Uzawuncama.
much. No, it's part of my job. I don't have a problem. I'm just glad I managed to connect. I was gonna be very
Finally
worried.
bendifrustrated telefoni laa nqama yho hayi ke ngoku because aske ndimjonge lo mntu ndizawuthetha naye, but thank you so much. I think masidibane next Thursday again, sawube ke siphethe kwalo mcimbi siqinisekise into yobana wonke umntu ufunde nto, sivule nee-lines for imibuzo. Enkosi ke sisibaba lwakaMpambane waseStarterham, siyabulela kakhulu ke eStarter. Niyeke ungamameli kweso starter. Thank you so much. Nayeka. Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your time. All right, ngusisibaba lwakaMpambane lo, sambamba again next week, same time, same website, www.kithgesiradio.com. sigxotha ikati eziko benana, akho nto sizayithini, siza nezinto nje ukwenzela umntu azofunda abone uba ubheka phi na. Well, masimkhuphe ke ngengoma sizokwazi ke sikhawuleze siqukumbele inkqubo yethu. Masiye phaa kunathi ezawuthi ke nomvula, but before that, let's pay the bills. Thank you.